Don in London, hello. It's December 22nd, 2009. My video is all about recovery from addiction to either substance or behaviour. My addictive substance was alcohol. My behavioural addictions, work, relationships, collecting, materialism, looking right, never feeling quite right, and probably driven by fear of not being good enough, not looking right. So I put up a facade for many years and kept people at arm's length. So if it looked right on the outside, you couldn't see what was going on the inside. And I guess I was driven by goodness knows how many forms of fear over the years, maybe less than that feeling, and wanting to be perfect, and never so. It's good to strive to do well, but it can be an impossible ask, not only of ourselves but other people, if we're forever going for perfection. So, my drinking story, 35 years long. The first drink did do the damage. It took the edge off, provided conviviality, relaxed feelings, joyfulness, sadness, sleepiness, happiness, and suppressed my feelings, I guess, when I wasn't drinking. So I wonder, who was the real person? The person who drank or the person who didn't drink? If you saw me when I wasn't drinking, I had a really good act. And if you saw me when I was drinking, I had a really good effusive act, I guess. But in there was a real person striving to get out and feeling life as best he could. That's me. So what keeps me sober these days? Well, family, friends, society, professionals, with all the maladies one can pick up along the way, and a fellowship, and that fellowship is AA, Alcoholics Anonymous. But it took a long time to get to AA because denial was strong, and my self-will to be determined not to be beaten by a malady or an addiction or a dependence drove me further and further into self-will run riot. And self-will run riot is insanity, because we keep on doing the same thing over and over again and wondering why things haven't got better. And we keep on thinking, well, we'll stop drinking tomorrow, or we'll pour it down the sink and not drink ever again, or not drink for that day. But guess what? By the evening, we're thirsty again. So the fellowship of AA has helped me understand how to be in recovery one day at a time, just simply one day. And it has a 12-step action program, which I'm going to share about in a moment. How to keep sober one day. It's a 24-hour program, no bigger, no small. Well, it can be smaller. Sometimes we just need to practice some of the principles in the moment to overcome our internal, I suppose, an internal irritability or anger or rage or something coming up which is caused by our surroundings, people, places or things, and we need to ask ourselves, why on earth are we feeling this way and what can we do about it? So what is AA? I've shared the statement of intent, or the AA preamble, shared at every meeting I go to, and I'm lucky. There are 700 meetings in London for me to choose on a weekly basis. So the AA preamble reads as this: Alcoholics Anonymous is a fellowship of men and women who share their experience, strength and hope with each other, that they may solve their common problem and help others to recover from alcoholism. The only requirement for membership is a desire to stop drinking. There are no dues or fees for AA membership. We are self-supporting through our own contributions. AA is not allied with any sect, denomination, politics, organisation or institution. Does not wish to engage in any controversy, neither endorses nor opposes any causes. Our primary purpose is to stay sober and help other alcoholics to achieve sobriety. So my only requirement for joining the fellowship was a desire to stop drinking, and somehow, and it didn't happen straight away, I did. But it's only for today. And the primary purpose is to stay sober and help others to achieve sobriety. What a gift, to pass it on, share it, be a part of, and do something for other people, be useful. So what are these 12 steps? Well, they're about action to change attitude and behaviour, and I'll just run through them very briefly, as time is always against me. So step 1, powerless over alcohol, and life can be unmanageable when drinking. without a doubt. So if I accept powerlessness, which is drinking is not for me, and really accept it and don't worry about it anymore, life gets manageable again. And step 2, being restored to sanity on a daily basis. For me, I can go insane on any one day with my feelings, where others or places or things evoke memories of how it used to be. And there were a lot of good times in my drinking days, of conviviality as well as sadness. So I know I have been restored to a place of sanity by the help of other people. And for some people say that's God works through people, or good conscience. Whatever it is, the higher power works for me. And step 3, let go, let God. And it's the God of one's own understanding. So for me, God is truth, the universal truth, not the truth I know today, because it's only as good as I know. So there's always more to learn. So let God, let the good happen, or just let good conscience be our guide, and the good conscience of other people. Don't try and do it on my own. I'm not in charge. And step 4 was all about doing a fearless moral inventory of my assets and liabilities, the good and bad of me, and almost also my experiences. What will drive me backwards into fear, brave facing, and ego, and what will drive me into a gentle day, a bit of courage, faith, and confidence. And having done the inventory, share it with another person, so that I let it out, express it. And then step 6 was about what to do about my defects of character, and I've mentioned those already. Fear, putting on a brave face, and ego lead to every single malady, if you like, in my underdeveloped courage, faith, and confidence. So defects of character, I can have a step 6 day full of fear, brave facing, and ego, or I can have a step 7 day full of courage, faith, and confidence. Or if I'm lucky, I get a bit of both. And step 7 is all about dealing with my shortcomings, not enough of courage, faith, and confidence. So from fear to brave facing to ego to courage, faith, and confidence, there's a balance in there as life is happening, life happening today. And I can be upset in any moment. I need to forgive it, forgive the cause, because the effect is on me and not on anybody else. And then in step 8, made a list of people I needed to make amends to, and be willing to make them. Willing being the answer, the actual key. List, willing. And then the amends, those I can make amends to now, those I need to make amends to as time allows it. And some amends might be very difficult because it might harm other people. Then the maintenance steps, step 10, all about taking an inventory of what's worked and what hasn't worked on a daily basis. And then step 11, prayer and meditation. Whether you're atheist, agnostic, or believer, prayer and meditation both work. Prayer is not only about the inner voice sharing something with a higher power, it's also about listening to the good conscience. And meditation is reflection. And then step 12, all about sharing the message with others. And I can't do the message sharing unless I understand the other 11 steps and live them as best I can. And the gift is, it's a practical program, and I'm making progress. So simply making progress. I always say step 1 in the morning to myself, I am powerless over alcohol, and if I took a drink, life would become unmanageable. And I also believe I'm powerless over people, places, and things, and I'll leave them alone to make up their own minds and choices. But I can make my choices today, and that's always good. And reminding myself always that the insanity is there to go back to if I want to, or fall into that trap. I don't want to, and I don't want to fall into that trap. So I keep on doing the steps. Let go and let good, or let go and let God. Well, I'm lucky, because I'm just learning on a daily basis. And the serenity prayer is something I say internally as many times a day as I need to God or conscience. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference is always for me, just for today.